My coworker has taken a liking to me, and my boyfriend blames me for
It
it.
shouldn't have been so hot. Gosh.
Trigger warning, mentions of stalking.
Oh, dang.
I, 26 female, am going through a bit of an ordeal at work where a male colleague became slightly obsessive with me. It started with me just thinking he was being nice, but it seems to have accelerated very quickly. We had hardly any contact until he was moved into my team and quickly became friends as he liked a lot of the same things as me. Favorite TV shows, musicians, etc. After a few months, I did notice him make some odd comments about my boyfriend, 37 male, who he's never met but seen on my Insta. Things like, I wouldn't picture you as someone like him, or we'll see how long that lasts, and he's the kind of guy that'll hurt you in the end. By the way, this comes from Lucky Explorer 177, and you can submit your own stories on the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Sophia.
I'm Angie.
And I'm Keon.
And OP says, I thought he was being very assumptive, but didn't think anything of it. Maybe that's my fault. Then the flirting started, or what I think he thought was flirting, where he would compliment me in a really specific, odd way, like the way I walked or how nice I smelled. Some of the comments became quite uncomfortable, so I started backing away from him. But as we're in the same team, they continued and just got more bizarre. He'd compare me to characters in the shows we both watched, but would reference specific spicy sleep scenes and how I would do it so much better. And that's when we get HR involved.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. That's crazy
That's
talk.
not okay. Very gross, very inappropriate, I know. But I've never been one to cause a scene or get anyone in trouble, so instead thought I'd just tell him straight that he was making me uncomfortable and he needed to stop. This was yesterday and he didn't take it well, shouting at me in the office that I had no idea what the F I was talking about and soon I'd get it. Not sure what he meant by that. He was told to go for a walk and cool off by our team lead. When he returned about 20 minutes later, he immediately apologized and said he had some things going on outside of work and assured me it'd never happen again. I don't believe him.
Yeah.
He even thanked me for raising how I felt and said that he'd never do anything to make me uncomfortable again. This morning, I woke up to the longest string of messages I've ever received. It was sent at 1 a.m. and started by him saying that he was in love with me and we were meant to be together.
Oh my gosh.
The messages then range from creepy compliments to saying he was going to find out where I live. Now we've gone from HR to police.
And we're screenshotting messages, recording conversations.
One part literally reads, I was put on this earth for you and only you. There's no other option. I won't bore everyone with putting in the whole text, as this post is already too long, but there are some things that I found very threatening. I called my manager this morning and said I won't be coming into work and that I needed to formally complain about him. She was understanding, and we had a long Teams call and started the process with HR, etc.
Good.
So now my boyfriend's response. This morning when I showed him the messages, he was supportive and insisted I don't go to work and stay at his. He wanted to call off work too and call the police, but I said I just wanted to focus on informing work today, etc., and think about how to proceed. However, when he came back from work today, his attitude seemed to have completely changed. He said he thought it was effed up that I didn't go to the police and that he thinks I have feelings for this coworker. What just happened? When I assured him that's not the case, he told me that guys don't write messages like that if there's nothing behind it.
Well, obviously.
Unless they're crazy. And that I must have been at least leading this guy on for him to end up acting so irrationally. The more I tried to defend myself, the more irate he got. And he started saying that he hated how I acted so innocent all the time when he knows deep down I'm a witch. And that he should have known I was a low-value woman. What happened?
That's disgusting.
Did he get red-pilled on his walk?
Clearly, no one else uses low-value women.
That's insane. He's never, ever called me things like that before, and it was so upsetting. Beyond that, he ended up asking me to leave, so now I've had to come back to my flat when I'm feeling pretty vulnerable and a little scared. For context, I got with my boyfriend quite quickly after I moved to the country I'm now living in, so my only friends are his friends.
Man.
All my family and friends are back in my home country, so nowhere else to go. I really think that what has happened is not my fault. It isn't.
No.
And I'm incredibly disappointed with his reaction, especially when for the past few weeks, I've told him how uncomfortable this guy has been making me. So he's been kept informed. However, I think it's important to note for context that he was previously cheated on by his ex-fiance, so I know that any hint of cheating is a big trigger for him, which may explain his reaction. No.
Here's the thing with those things. I don't care. I
also
don't
don't
give a crap
care.
about if you've been cheated on before. I do not give a crap.
Doesn't mean you can treat your current partner poorly.
Exactly.
No excuse.
Yeah.
So, do I break up with him? Yes. Sorry for the dragged out tale, but wanted people to have all the context and a bit of a rant, to be honest, as I don't want to tell my family all this. It'll just worry them considering they're so far away. So my boyfriend of 9 months and I have just had a big fight, and now I'm home alone and seeking advice from strangers, I guess, and there are some relevant comments and an update, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you should definitely break up with him.
I agree.
I mean, if there's ever like a level of trust, I guess, that's like not there, like if he's starting to not trust you while victim blaming you of like this pesterment, then like that's not someone that you should be with. That's not something that you work through. That's something that's like, okay, well, if you don't trust me for something that's absolutely not my fault, then we shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. No,
Mhm.
absolutely. I mean, there's no relationship at that point.
Yeah.
Some relevant comments. Deleted says, please go to the police about your coworker. I think you are underreacting to the danger he poses to your safety. His obsessive behavior is really scary, and it sounds like it will only escalate. As for your boyfriend, the low-value woman comment seems like he's been red-pilled.
Exactly what you were saying.
Mm-hmm. At the heart of his outbreak is probably fear and concern, but it's really troubling that he is taking it out on you. This might be a good time to leave and visit home, but not without first filing a police report. You are definitely in danger, and stalkers don't take no lightly.
Yeah. Absolutely, especially since like
We have the threats.
Yeah, the threats, and then like as soon as she was just like, "Hey, you need to
He
stop
screamed
this."
at her.
Yeah, he's getting
And you have
mad and
witnesses?
dangerous, and said that you're gonna get it, and then he's gonna find out where you live. Like even if those weren't all in the same sentence, it's like, and then he's also all of a sudden being like, "Oh, I'm sorry, you shouldn't have been treated like that. I should be better." It's unpredictable now, so
Yeah.
absolutely.
OP says, thanks for your advice. I think you're right with the whole red-pilled thing. And think I know exactly who he must have spoken to yesterday to have come back with that stuff. Just very confusing when he's never indicated thinking that way himself. I'm going to see if he reaches out to talk, but nothing so far. As for the coworker, I've stayed home again today, but have an in-person meeting later with my manager and HR as they've opened an investigation. I blocked my colleague on everything, which I think some comments said was a bad idea, but I didn't realize. So I haven't heard anything from him, but that almost is making me more nervous and paranoid. A work friend is going to come over later to talk about involving the police. Thanks again for taking the time to comment. It's really appreciated. And there is an update 4 months later.
Ooh,
but
boy.
Any thoughts before we dive right in?
I don't know. I'm just worried. I could see, I guess, how
Me
it's
too.
like a bad idea to block, because then they might like, if they know they can't reach out to you, then they might show up at your house.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, but that's something I didn't think about before.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
But it does make, like, you might kind of egg him on or
Yeah,
something. I don't know.
Good to know. Good to know
Scary,
for all my
very
people out
scary.
there.
No, I'm really hoping that OP's dealt with this stalker situation and broken up with her boyfriend.
Hopefully.
Quite delayed. It's been a journey, but I had some lovely concern messages, so wanted to post a quick update. Thank you for everyone's comments and messages. You were all bang on, and I'm so glad to say I'm out of this situation.
Yay.
Woohoo! Boyfriend update. He came back apologizing as many of you predicted he would. He confirmed my assumption that he had spoken to a specific friend that day who had gotten him all riled up on the idea that it's always the girls who seem innocent that aren't.
Whatever.
And that I had clearly been cheating with his coworker. At
Stupid.
first, he did pretty well at apologizing and taking accountability on the phone. But when we met up, I could see he was still angry at me for some reason. Turns out he felt abandoned by me because I wasn't the first to reach out after the fight.
I don't
That's
give a
so
crap.
ridiculous. He's like, you didn't reach out. That's when I knew it was over and I couldn't forgive him. How he was making this situation about himself still blows my mind. I left him, received some more red pill abuse, and I've heard nothing since. Good riddance.
Good
and
riddance
there is a
indeed.
stalker update, folks.
Oh, boy.
Things got a little scary. I returned to work while he was suspended under investigation. Only 1 week later, I had gone out for dinner, and when I returned home, he was standing outside my apartment building. It was dark, and he was wearing a hoodie, so I didn't realize it was him until I got close enough to see his face. I completely froze, and for a second, I stupidly thought he was going to apologize and beg not to get him fired, but instead, he said he'd missed me. I have no idea how this man found out where I live, but I think he is very unwell. I backed away into the street, but he grabbed me into a hug or something,
Oh,
not totally
gosh.
sure of his intentions.
Jeez.
Luckily, some passerbys heard me shouting for him to get off and intervened. Forcibly had to get him to let go. He then ran away. I finally went to the police and started the process of getting a restraining order. Even after this, I received explicit emails from weird email addresses and requests from newly made Insta accounts. I have since deleted and remade all accounts. By the way, you can join us on all of our accounts with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Well, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so scary.
I'm very glad for those other people, those good Samaritans helping you out. But that is truly terrifying. Yeah, definitely file a police report, which she did, right?
She did, yes.
Okay,
yes.
good,
She's
good.
filing the police report and the restraining order.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
But there is a little bit left. After this experience, I have moved back to my home country. Oh, I wish I had been brave enough to stay, but I was honestly living in fear, not to be dramatic,
You're not.
and just didn't have the support of friends and family that I needed. Anyway, just wanted to thank all of you strangers again that made me feel justified in my feelings. I really have learned a valuable lesson to raise the alarm when you feel threatened, and truly hope none of you have to go through this experience. Also, if someone loves you, they should never abandon you in times of crisis.
True.
Stay safe out there. And that is the end of that story, folks.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm glad that you moved away, honestly. I feel like that was a good move. You were not safe there. You were not safe. Maybe, someday you can move back if you want to. But yeah, I think you are not dramatic or not unbrave to make the right decision. Like, you don't
That's
have
such
to.
a tough decision. You have
Yeah.
to be brave to make that decision.
Yeah,
To
true.
stand up for yourself. So
Honestly.
yeah,
So-
don't think that just because you decided to move, that is you like losing in a way.
Right, or like cowering away.
Yeah,
or
it's
something
like,
like
no,
that.
you're making a decision that is for your own safety.
Yeah, exactly. My ex demanded I get rid of my cats because his new wife is allergic.
I know how that feels.
As do I.
I, 24 female, have recently got new cats. My daughter, 6, has always wanted cats, and she has an obsession with them and frequently says, "All I want in this world are cats." That's adorable. Little 6-year-old. However, baby daddy's 25, new wife, also 25, is gravely allergic to cats. There you go. And has been to the hospital once for it. By the way, this comes from Super Accountant 943 on the TwoHotTakes subreddit, and you can submit your own stories to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Sophia.
I'm Keon.
And OP says, I have multiple friends with cats, and my daughter is frequently around them and plays with them, then goes over to baby daddy and wife's house, and there has never been a complaint of allergies. I was told by wife that she would start taking allergy shots and would be good to go in around a month's time. I found the perfect cat sibling pair from an adoption agency in my area. Adopt, don't shop. And with the info on it being about a month, I had a friend agree to watch them in the transition period and would take the caution in giving baths, changing clothes, etc. if my daughter did see the cats. Well, yesterday, I let them know that she had come in contact with the cats briefly, but she was bathed and put in freshly washed clothes that had not been in the same house as them. I was told to still take her over to her grandparents' house for another rinse off and change clothes just in case. After dropping her off, I received a call from baby daddy where he told me his wife could no longer get the shots since they just found out that she's pregnant. So she would like the cats rehomed or returned to the adoption agency. Well, congrats on the pregnancy. However, if it hasn't been an issue in the past, I feel like it's not going to be an issue anymore. Or
The cats?
in the future. Like if the daughter is in contact with cats and then goes over to baby daddy's house, it hasn't been an issue
so why
with
would
their
it be an issue?
allergies. Yeah. So now we're veering on weird control. My biggest concern is for my daughter, and I genuinely believe if the cats were taken from her permanently, it would be traumatic for how long and how badly she's wanted them. Not to mention the resentment in her it would cause towards the wife and new baby. And that's just a horrible thing to do after giving the pet a new home after being rescued. Also, I would be effectively blacklisted from all rescues and agencies if I were to do that, and rightly so. I ended up getting another call the day after saying that they were in the ER for hours and spent a bunch of money for the visit, and the cats needed to be rehomed. But like I said before, my daughter has been around cats many times and gone over there, and there's never been an issue. I find it hard to believe that after 2 baths and clothes changes that it truly caused such a bad reaction that the hospital was necessary.
I'm sorry, they had 2 baths and changed her clothes.
Yeah, twice. Changed her clothes
they're
twice.
Lying. They're lying.
Honestly,
They're
they
lying.
just want them to not have cats.
No, like genuinely, they're lying.
Okay, conspiracy theory. I think they're worried that because OP has the 2 cats for the daughter's gonna like being over there more and not like being with the baby daddy. Maybe that's what they're worried about. It's also important to note that the 3 of us have not always gotten along, especially since the wife was my best friend for a while before I found out she got with him. So we were on very bad terms for a very long time. Yeah, that sounds right. I found it hard to give up something me and my daughter have been so excited for, and I've worked so hard to get to a place where we can get them, only to be told that we can't because of their decision to have a new baby. They're still asking that the cats be given back or rehomed and making me feel like I'm the bad guy. Am I the a-hole? Also, edit to add, they were both aware for a long time that the end plan was to get cats ASAP. That's why she was going to start the shot. They were not blindsided by this plan. And I told the wife when I got them, and it was fine before they found out about the pregnancy. Hi, Chip. We've got a dog in here. Speaking of
Chip,
cats,
you look
you
gigantic.
take up the whole screen.
He's so big.
Chip, you look huge.
You look so big. Oh my gosh.
Chip, down.
Edit number 2. Since for some reason, I have to preface this was not in retaliation or out of spite or anything in that way towards the wife. We just moved to a place that can have cats we couldn't have at the previous place. And I have been wanting cats since before I even knew the dad in high school. I do not think about them when I am not directly speaking to them, so adopting cats was purely for the joy of me and my daughter, not to cause problems. And again, they knew that this was happening and there were no issues, and cats were adopted and they were informed. They were before finding out she was pregnant, and the plan was fine then, so it was not me trying to make life harder for the wife. There are more comments here. Comment number 1 says, wait a dang minute. So your baby daddy's wife was your ex-best friend? Were they having an affair when you were still with him? An OP response. So we were never married. We dated a long time, and there is some speculation that they might have been together when we were. However, they deny it. But regardless, the same day we broke up, they were both at her place together that night, and she lied about it, and they've been together ever since. So shady as a friend, no matter whether during or not.
They freaking cheated.
Absolutely.
They freaking cheated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was probably like, thank God we broke up. Let's let's get together now.
Yeah.
Freely. Someone else responds, oh, they were 100% having an affair. F them. Keep your cats.
Yeah. What are they gonna
Literally.
do? What are they gonna do?
Honestly. Show me the receipts. Show me the
Yeah.
hospital bills.
Yeah.
Because I do not
Prove
believe you.
it.
Commenter number 2 says, do not give up the cats. I feel a bath and a change of clothes and no transfer from house to house should be fine. I just don't understand. Can she not sit in a booth at a restaurant if someone before her has a cat and sat there, even if they clean the booth?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way that her allergies are that bad because that's
Yeah.
just like that's just not how they work.
Yeah, usually you have to be like in close contact or like pet them or,
Yes. And sometimes,
get
you
the
know,
fur
if,
on you.
you're around someone who's got a bunch of cat hair on them.
Sure.
maybe
And you're like hugging them and
but
stuff.
it's like the most you're gonna be sneezy.
Yeah.
Not gonna go to the hospital because someone's been around cats.
Right. Someone else responds to that. If her allergies are that bad as they say, she can't go anywhere. I have allergies, one being cats. I live with a cat. As long as I don't touch him, I'm fine. I agree a bath and change of clothes should solve the problem. Commenter number 3 says that's absolutely a ridiculous demand for the ex to make. Someone responds, yeah, tell your ex that one of the absolute best things about being divorced is that he doesn't get to control your life anymore and he should piss off.
Yeah.
Also, document it. Especially note anytime your daughter visited a friend with cats and it caused no issue. Speak to your lawyer about the pesterment and any concerns that he's using this to either A, continue to control you despite the divorce, or B, lay a groundwork to either take custody or abandon his responsibilities to your shared daughter. That's a good point. It could escalate like that for sure. But now we have an update. So we're about to find out what really happened.
Yeah. No.
Thank you all so much for your feedback and suggestions. I'm not going to be giving many details as it's now going to court. I ended up offering to feed the special food a bunch of y'all suggested for allergies. Thanks again.
Smart.
Use sprays, quarantined clothes, etc. And they told me that they are not willing to even try those. The option is to get rid of them.
That's
the only
just-
option.
No.
Yeah. The wife has now tried and failed. They couldn't find a judge to sign it, lol, to put a restraining order on me that states if I don't get rid of my cats, then I'm banned from seeing and having all contact with my daughter until I do. Yeah, that's exactly what the commenter said. They were trying to alter the custody.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I wonder how many other times they've tried to scheme things. And then they're like,
yeah.
oh, this has got to be a good reason.
Yeah, they're like, we just need to go down the list.
Yeah.
Allergies.
Allergies.
Perfect.
Obviously, this is wildly excessive, and I have an abundance of evidence to disprove the severity and her claims. I'm trying to harm her on purpose. My daughter let it slip. The wife's parents have cats that my daughter pets when they go visit. Oops.
You've just been caught.
But even more so, when I talked to my psychiatrist about this and at our last appointment, she felt that my cats were necessary to my anxiety disorder. We have talked about me getting ESAs for a while now.
Emotional support animals.
Perfect. So she wrote me a note, and they are now officially my legal support animals. This should take care of the restraining order. However, I was also served with papers, as many of you guessed, trying to take my daughter from me. Apparently, the wife has been, quote, keeping a calendar of all the days I've had my daughter versus her. She started this calendar before they were even engaged.
That's
wild.
insane.
That is. She's trying to show that they should get my daughter since they had her more on paper. However, this is due to the fact that I was needing to save up some money in order to put down the first and last month's rent, etc., at my apartment. So she offered to help as much as I need and encouraged me to pick up extra shifts so that I would have my finances in order. Still crazy.
Still crazy.
But you know what's not crazy is the fact that we've got more full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
Do it.
Do it. And there is a little bit more to the story,
Oh,
but
boy.
woof, that was
Woof.
an update and a half, dude.
Yeah, man.
That was so much.
You freaking, you have the proof.
Yeah.
You have the proof that they were lying.
You have the proof. You've got the
They've been
judge's
lying. I don't even
support.
think they're freaking allergic to cats. I said it.
I think they were lying the whole time.
I think they're lying.
But anyway, there is a tiny bit more to the story. So she is now using those times that she helped against me and saying I can't care for my daughter on my own with the job that I have. I'm honestly sick to my stomach that I've tried so hard to be the bigger person, constantly put up with their shenanigans and crossing boundaries with a smile on my face for the sake of my daughter, all to be once again stabbed in the back by both of them. They don't really have a case, and I have a lot more on them than they have on me, so I'm not worried, just disappointed that people are truly this evil even after you try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And that is the end of that story.
And there you go.
Yeah, dude. That is very disappointing
Yeah.
and so upsetting. They've betrayed you so many times, and now
So
they're
many-
trying to
like,
take your
literally-
daughter?
So your best friend takes your man, tries
Yeah.
to take your cats, tries to take your daughter.
Literally. Like, is she wearing your clothes and dyeing her
She's trying
hair to
take
be
your
like yours?
skin, man.
Literally. That's so insane to try to
Yeah.
come after your daughter like that.
Come after your whole life. She's so jealous of you
Yeah,
that she can't see you have anything
literally.
without trying to take it.
Yeah, but I am so incredibly relieved that they have absolutely no case against you,
Yeah.
and you're safe that way.
I agree.
My fiance refused to attend his brother's wedding because our daughter's not invited.
Well, we're a package deal, my guy.
Some backstory: me, 27 female, and my fiance, 28 male, have known each other for about 3 years. Officially been dating for almost 2 years and engaged for a few months. I'm currently 6 months pregnant. He was previously married and has a stepchild, 6 male, and a biological child, 4 female. His ex is barely in the picture. We have both his children full time. By the way, this comes from Cherry Princess on the r/charlottedobreyoutube subreddit. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Riley.
I'm Angie.
I'm Keon.
So, I have a child, 5 female, from a previous relationship who we also have full time. And her dad sees her periodically when his schedule allows it. Last year, his son was diagnosed with a serious medical condition. And because of the laws here, we couldn't get him into kindergarten, and the preschool he attended could not accommodate his medical needs. Because of that, and with our work environments, his parents, who are retired, said they would take him in for the school year until he was old enough to attend school down here. Amazing. We send money and are very involved, even though it's a long distance, and we already have everything in place for him to come home to us. Nice. We are completely a blended family. Even though his stepson is not biologically his, I see him as his son, and I see myself as a mother figure to him and treat him and his daughter just like I treat my own daughter. And my fiance does the same with my daughter. It's never been a concern or issue of treating any of the children differently. Okay, both of our families growing up were also blended families, so we are all welcome with open arms. Something to note before going into the story: we live out of state from both sides of the family. My family is from down south and his family is from up north. We try our best to take weekend trips to visit, but it's about a 6-hour drive to visit either side. Hoy. Now to the story. My fiance brother is getting married in a few months. Due to us living out of state and him and his significant other also living in a different state than his family, I've only met him in person twice. But all went well. The wedding is going to be in the state that they live in. My fiance was supposed to be his best man, and he was super excited about it. We had received the wedding invitation a few months ago, and I noticed on the invitation it only had my fiance's name, my name, and his daughter's name on the invite. I asked about my daughter being invited, and my fiance just brushed it off and said he was sure it was a mistake. A few weeks after that, I received an invitation from the bride for her bridal shower. The plan for the bridal shower, as we were all going to travel to the state they live in. The women, me, sister-in-law, and mother-in-law, were all going to the bridal shower, while fiance, brother-in-law, and father-in-law hung out at the groom's house with the groom. I asked what we would do about the kids, as I didn't want to just bring the kids if it wasn't specified. So my fiance called his brother to ask. His brother said it would be fine. Our son would go with him, and our daughters would come with me. A few hours later, his brother texted him and told him they actually decided not to have children come to the bridal shower, and he didn't feel comfortable having the kids at his house because he has a dog that's unfamiliar around small children, which is completely understandable. It's going to be hard to find a babysitter for that, though.
Yeah, true, huh?
That being said, I just said I probably wouldn't be able to make it to the bridal shower due to being in an unfamiliar state, and I just don't feel comfortable hiring a stranger to watch them while we go to these events, but I'd still send something on the registry, and we would all see them at the wedding. Well, this brought to light that the invite for the wedding was indeed only for my fiance, me, and his daughter, and that my daughter was excluded. His reason was being first that they didn't want any children at the wedding, even though my fiance's son and daughter were both invited and expected to be at the wedding. The reason turned into he didn't know my daughter that well, and he didn't think our relationship would last. So he doesn't want people he doesn't know or think will be around at his wedding. I understand that, except for that, me and my fiance have been together for going on 2 years and have known each other longer than that. We are very serious about one another. It blew up into a whole thing. My fiance said he wouldn't go to the wedding at all if the children weren't invited. His brother said some nasty things, basically insinuating that he dumped his son on his parents and how he probably dumped his unborn kid on them too, and some other insulting things.
What?
I told my fiance I don't want him to not go because of us, but I also will not have my daughter feel like the red-headed stepchild, and how this could create a divide and show the children that one is different from the other when we are raising them as brothers and sisters. He agreed with me and still says he nor his son or daughter are going to the wedding, and then went no contact with his brother. He made it clear to his brother that he owes him and me an apologies for the things he said, and until he does that, he doesn't want anything to do with him. His brother has reached out a few times, still stating he wants him and his daughter and my son at his wedding, but no word about me or my daughter. My mom agrees with us and says we shouldn't budge and shouldn't bring my daughter somewhere or around people who treat her differently or make her feel unwelcomed. His parents and his sister, though, keep telling him he needs to forgive his brother and go to the wedding. His mom is saying that no children at all are going to be at the wedding, and that my fiance's son and daughter were the only exceptions, and that we need to see his side of things. It's gotten to the point where his mom has tried to guilt trip him, and every few weeks they blow up at each other over this topic. I don't want it to seem like I am the one creating the divide between him and his family, but it feels like it because the issue resolves around me and my daughter. I've told my fiance multiple times if he wants to go to the wedding, I would be supportive, even though I wouldn't be in attendance because of my daughter, and he just tells me no. He's not going. And you can go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime, and listen to stories just like this, wherever. We got 70 days of content. Check us out. Angie, any final thoughts before we blow through it?
I think I've spoken my piece.
Yeah, we're going to finish this story out. His parents have tried to talk to me about it and try to get me to reason with my fiance, but I just tell him it's his decision and he needs space, and that I can't make him choose to do it or not do anything. So I guess, are we the a-holes? It doesn't help that I'm super hormonal and emotional and feels like I'm just the cause of all of this when I don't want to have any conflict or divide because I love him and his family and our family. We have one comment. Can you move to a place that has schools that can accommodate your child's medical needs? Then you can take your stepson back. I actually live in a town that many people moved here to specifically for the special education program. OP says, unfortunately, we are unable to move from where we are due to our jobs, and the issue stemming from him not originally being able to attend school down here is because our state does not require private daycares and preschools to have a nurse on staff, and staff is only typically trained in the basic first aid and CPR, and we need a nurse at least on staff in order to administer medical attention when needed while in care. I think like that's more logistics, but yeah, you are the reason that your husband's not going to the wedding, but that's a reason he needs to stand on. That's a hill he needs to stand on. And he's choosing to do that because he loves you, and he's not going to be a part of this undivided family because he believes in an unconditional, loving, blended family.
Yeah, and it's not because like you're doing anything wrong or something like that. It's like they're saying that you're the reason, but
exactly,
you're not. It's not your fault.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
Silly.
So
silly gooses.
You are the problem, but that's all right.
Yeah.
They're making you the problem.
Exactly.